Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and this is our favorite episode of the week. We're going to cover the NFL slate on Sunday. We have so much value. We think it's the best value for demon plays and YOLOs, which obviously is my favorite thing to play. Yeah, I feel like it's like I play regular plays too. Like I still try to play, regular lines that are gonna just build the bankroll, build the portfolio a little bit. But I just love playing these YOLO plays. I'll still do it on NBA, but really NFL is where all the value is because these lines are very doable. So yeah, we've got 6 plays total for you guys today, 6 regular lines, and then Jordy and I each have a 6-man demon slip that we made. So we're gonna break that down for you as well. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you drop us a comment. Let us know what you're getting into. And I have a question for you guys. What are these drones all about? What do you guys think these drones are? Because I've been obsessed with that too. Do you think it's aliens? Do you think it's the government? I know we're a sports show, but I'm curious what you guys think's going on there. But yeah, so let's shout out our partners real fast. We got Better, Underdog, and Parlay Play are our featured platforms that we're partnered with. If you use code BACKDOOR at any of those platforms, they're going to hook you up. Parlay Play is going to give you a 100% deposit match up to $100 plus a $5 promo slip that they're just going to let you play to get you started. And we're going to give you a month in our premium Discord if you use our code at Parlay Play as well. Just make sure you put the code in, because if you don't use the code, if we can't verify that you use the code, there's nothing we can do. So just email us at bdfantasysports@gmail.com and we'll get you set up within 24 hours. We just got to confirm with them that the code was used, and we'll get you in there. For Better, they're going to give you a $200 deposit match plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And then Underdog's going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. We have all that information down below for you if you're looking to sign up for any of our partners. So let's talk about the plays we're getting into.
Sweet.
Am I mistaken? Did we get a sweep on the last NFL video?
Would that have been
I didn't even think about it.
Rams and Niners? I don't think so. That game was
Yeah,
garbage.
I'm thinking of the
one
slate before that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that did not work out too well, did it?
No.
But yeah, that was a boring game. But we're going to be getting into a lot better value here today. So let's talk about the plays we're taking. For my regular plays, these lines are all going to be a little bit different on all these different platforms. I'm comfortable taking the over on all of them. I haven't seen any line that I thought was outrageous, but on Parlay Play, I'm going Zach Charbonnet over 61.5 rushing yards, Rico Dowdle over 79.5 rushing yards, and Brian Robinson Jr. over 77.5 rushing yards. I'm going all rushing yards on all these platforms today. If we head over, wait, do I still have it up? Please don't tell me it went away. Okay, no. So yeah, kind of similar on Prize Picks. We got Charbonnet 61.5 rushing yards, Dowdle 84.5 rushing yards, and Brian Robinson Jr. over 77.5 rushing yards. So all of that in between. I'm taking these 3 plays are also in my demon slip, so that tells you what I think about their regular lines. I'm very confident in them. So what are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, so for my regular plays, I'm going to be going with Jamison Williams for over 22.5 longest reception. And then I'm taking Adam Thielen over 19.5 longest reception. And then I'm going to Amari Cooper over 3.5 receptions.
All right. Sounds good. So for my plays, if you guys aren't comfortable taking rushing yards on all of these, I like their fantasy scores too. If you want a little bit of everything, I think all 3 of these guys have potential to get in the end zone. I think Brian Robinson Jr. and Zach Charbonnet have a better chance, but Rico Dowdle has an incredibly soft matchup. So I'm going to show you guys this demon slip I made, and then I'll break down all of my plays, including the demon slip. So yeah, this is a monster, 240x, and that's when you are going flex. So 240x. And then if we go 5 of 6, we get 20x. If we go 4 of 6, we get 4x. But NFL is, in my opinion, it is the best bang for your buck when you're looking to make YOLO slips like this. Just so much easier to predict than basketball. So Jordy put this on my radar. I threw it into the slip. Josh Allen over just 0.5 rushing receiving touchdowns. I don't know if I missed something here, but I don't know why I think that would be a regular line or maybe even a goblin, but we're getting a demon. So we'll take it. I'm going Rico Dowdle over 99.5 rushing yards. We got Zach Charbonnet over 89.5 rushing yards. Trey McBride, going back to my boy Trey, 7.5 receptions. He's absolutely going to get this done. Like, I promise you. Austin Hooper. There's two options here. Jordy took the 2.5 receptions. For Hooper, I'm taking the 3.5. I'm going a little bit crazier because this slip was it was like a much, I think I lost like 30x if I went down to the 3 receptions, but I'll roll the dice on him getting 4. And then Brian Robinson Jr., 99.5 rushing yards. I like all of these running backs to get this done. So I'll start breaking mine down. Do you want to talk about your demon slip first? Or do you want to break it down when you break down your plays, Jordy?
I'll just break it down in my plays.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's walk through it. So Zach Charbonnet, he got, it was at his first start of 2024. I think he had opportunities before, right? Yeah, I think he had another opportunity here earlier in the season. Let's see. Yeah, so he had a couple opportunities here early in the season, but boy, did he turn things on this past week. Absolutely dominant performance. 193 total yards against the Cardinals last week, playing in Arizona. 134 rushing yards, 59 receiving yards. We've got Kenneth Walker out again, and the injury is looking even more serious. Like, not like like career ending or anything like that. But they do not even have him on the injury report. Oh, there he is. He's listed as doubtful. I forget what his other injury. So he had an injury before. I don't know if it was like an ankle or a knee. I'll look into that a little bit more for you guys while Jordy's breaking down his plays. But Kenneth Walker had an injury, and then he got another injury added to that during the week. So now he's dealing with this calf injury, which they're saying is more of a bigger deal. So he's listed as doubtful. I think he's for sure missing this game, and Charbonnet is going to eat again. He had such an incredible game, and the Cardinals defense is not like some team that you can just walk through. Like, they're pretty tough, actually, very underrated. So now he's got this matchup against Green Bay, who I know is tough. And they'll find a way. They're probably going to focus on Charbonnet, say like, we can't let him do what he did to the Cardinals to us. But his matchup is pretty solid. 12th in rushing yards allowed, 27th in receiving yards allowed. Last week he had 7 targets and 7 receptions, and that's how he stacked up that 59 yards. But they just kept feeding him, and he was very productive. So he had 22 attempts last week. I'm not saying he's going to get 22 again this week, but let's see. Can we get a... Yeah. So he was averaging 4.3 yards per attempt. To average up over 4 on 22 carries is pretty impressive. Actually, that's what he's doing right now. Let's go. So in that game last week, he was averaging 6.1 yards per carry on 22 carries. So it was beautiful to see. I'm very comfortable with him going over his regular line. Absolutely, the low 60s. I'm all over that. But I'm comfortable taking that demon slip as well. So that's part of the reason I'm going with that. He's just going to get a ton of work in this game. And I think that they're going to just go back to it with how productive he was last week. Next up for the, I guess he's in the regular plays too here, is Brian Robinson Jr. I like him to get this done. He's got this really soft matchup against New Orleans, playing in New Orleans. And they are looking like they're not going to have, like, Derek Carr's probably done for the season, right? I'm guessing. He's doubtful to play, left hand fracture. I don't think he's playing in this game. I think it's going to be Haener regardless of who it is, they're not going to keep up with this Washington team. This is not going to be close. Let's take a look at this over-under. Actually, I'll tell you guys about that Seahawks game too. 46.5 over-under. Green Bay favored by 2.5, playing in Seattle. So we got the home field advantage too for Charbonnet there. Where is this other game? Here we go. Okay, so 43.5 point over under. Washington favored by 7.5. So I think that Washington is going to run up the score, and they're just going to run the clock, is what I'm guessing. It's going to be a lot on the ground after the first half, but this matchup is just beautiful. So that's his rushing, receiving together. We want just the rushing yards. Yeah, he went for 103 last week against Tennessee, which is a much tougher matchup. We've seen teams just run all over the Saints lately on the back half of the year. They're 24th in rushing yards allowed to running backs and overall 25th. But yeah, I mean, they're bottom of the barrel when it comes to stopping the run. And we've got Austin Eckler on injured reserve. So I know some of these other guys like Jeremy McNichols, if he's playing, I don't think he's hurt. That's the Saints. Let me see. I know Eckler's on injured reserve. And yeah, so I actually think Jeremy McNichols is like decent. I think he'll get a little bit of run here. But let's see. He got 16. Brian Robinson got 16 carries last week against Tennessee, and that was an absolute blowout, 42-19, just absolutely ugly. I think it could absolutely turn into something like that for this game too, like just a clear blowout where they're just running the clock, which we don't want it to get too crazy because we don't want Jeremy McNichols to be getting a bunch of work in the fourth quarter. But I think that he's going to go over 80 yards. I think he's going to go over 100 yards. If he just did that against Tennessee in that blowout, I think that this matchup against the Saints, he's going to eclipse 100 yards, in my opinion. So that's why I'm throwing that into the demon slip. Rico Dowdle, love this too. I've been preaching about this dude all year, and everybody, including Mike McCarthy, has not seen the writing on the wall soon enough. But he's finally giving him just the bulk of the work once their season is pretty much done and everybody on the roster is injured. But I feel very comfortable. Like, I think Rico Dowdle all year long, he's been averaging like almost 6 yards a carry. He's catching just about everything they throw at him. He doesn't have a lot of wear on those tires. Like he's it's like his 5th or 6th year in the league, but he hasn't gotten a heavy workload, and he didn't get a heavy workload through college either. So he's physically really fresh, in good shape. He's got this matchup against Carolina, the very worst in the league against rushing yards allowed. And we've seen Rico has just been stacking things up here. Against Washington, 86 rushing yards is very impressive because the nature of the way they play, the pace at which they play, it's just you don't really expect a running back to be that productive because they're probably playing from behind. We saw that game was wild when they played Washington. It was very boring, and then all of a sudden it got super exciting in the fourth quarter. But yeah, he ended up finishing with 86 yards in that weird game. And then against the Giants, who are a team that we're targeting for running backs, because they're just like teams just eat against them on the ground. He went for 112. Let's see what those attempts were. So yeah, he got 19 rush attempts in that game against Washington. Then he got 22 against the Giants, put up 112. Then he got 18 last week against Cincinnati, and he turned that into 131 rushing yards. Now he's got the Panthers. So I think that this will be solid because he's got, like, they're utilizing him as a part of the offense, whether or not they're ahead in these games. He's just a part of what they're doing, opening up the pass constantly, just hitting them with a solid run game. And so I'm not concerned about this turning into a blowout because Bryce Young has been playing really good ball. It's awesome to see him bouncing back. Looks like he is going to be their quarterback of the future. That's what I would guess. I would not let him go now with the way he's been playing. 42.5 point over under. Carolina favored by 2.5. So we don't have to worry about this turning into the type of thing where Rico's touches are limited because of a blowout. I think that they're playing in Carolina. I'm just curious. Let's take a look here. What Rico has done on the road, away games. So relatively solid. That game against Washington was out there on the road. 75 against Atlanta on November 3rd, and then October 6th, much earlier on, he was playing in Pittsburgh against the Steelers of all people, and 87 rushing yards that game. So I'm very confident in his regular line going over. I'm comfortable with taking that demon over 99.5. I think he'll be over 100 in this one. And if you prefer his fantasy score, you could take that too, because he is a solid pass catcher. They just don't throw him the ball that much. Like, I would expect him to get more work in the pass game than he actually does. But this matchup's just too soft at 32nd in the league against rushing yards. So I've said enough about that. Let's move on to Trey McBride. I'm so confident that he's going to get this done. We're taking his receptions demon at 7.5. He ended up still going for 7 receptions last week against the Seahawks, even though he started really slow and then they were just like heavily targeting him. He is the target leader on this team by far. Last week, he only turned it into 7 catches, but that's not typical for him. He still had 14 targets in that game. So yeah, 3 weeks straight, 15 targets, 12 targets, 14 targets. So I think he's going to get us 8 catches against the Patriots here. I'm also comfortable taking his fantasy score. The thing is he doesn't get into the end zone that often. He should. I wish they targeted him more in the end zone, but it's just usually Connor or actually Michael Wilson gets a decent amount of looks, or Kyler just runs it in himself. Matchup, a little bit above average, 11th in receptions allowed to tight ends. But yeah, there's nothing that has me nervous about this play at all. I think he's going to absolutely cash this demon. Jordy's going to break down the Austin Hooper. I'll talk to you about this. This is pretty simple. If you guys you can't not take a chance on this Josh Allen rushing touchdown. He's got 7 touchdowns in the last 4 games, rushing touchdowns. So it's just crazy. It sucks because I'm playing him in fantasy playoffs for Dynasty this week, but I think he's going to get this done. I just hope that he doesn't have another psychotic game where he goes for 6 touchdowns total. But yeah, touchdowns allowed 13th to quarterbacks, and then second overall. So it is the Lions. So it is a tough matchup, but sometimes that just makes it even more likely that he's going to get in the end zone because their regular situation with their running backs, like he just reads the play, goes to the read option and decides to take it himself, and just because he's the one of the biggest guys on their offense. So he has a better chance of getting in the end zone than their running backs do. So you can't not take a chance on this. The fact that it's a demon is just crazy to me. So we threw it in there. This is not one we have to overthink. Let's see. I don't even have DG set up yet. I'll see if I can quickly pull up my regular plays for you guys, though, just to show you what the odds are looking like here. If I can start with Rico. I thought Kamani Vidal's rushing yards looked good, too. I think he's kind of on the rise. They've got that as the top play on Prize Picks right now, over 25.5. I might even take the demon play. Okay, so for Rico, they have his rushing yards as the top play for him, 79. That bumped up to 79. It was at 77.5, I believe, earlier. Maybe that I'm thinking of Brian Robinson, but they love this to go over. 51.52% odds to hit the over, minus 125. Let's look at Charbonnet. Yeah, jump on that Kamani Vidal rushing yards too, by the way, guys. It does look good. So there's a lot they don't like about Charbonnet. Okay. Let's take that off overs and go to all. Interesting. Do they think Kenneth Walker's playing or something? They think this is all too high. I disagree. 15.5 rush attempts they think is too high. Maybe he doesn't go for that many rushing attempts, but 60, you don't think he's getting 61.5 rushing yards? I disagree. 50.18% odds to hit the under. They like his receiving yards to go under. Let me double check on that Kenneth Walker status while you're breaking down your plays, because I don't get that. If Charbonnet's like the only guy for them this week and he just popped off for like 164 total yards last week, more than that, I think he got like 190. Okay, last play, Brian Robinson Jr. They like his rush attempts over 16.5. Makes sense with the narrative. Like we said, we think it's going to be a blowout. They like, okay, 1.5 receptions looks solid. 52.66% odds to hit the over on the receptions. They like his receiving yards over 7.5. I think it looks good too. Rushing yards, they do like it to go over. 51.05% odds to hit the over, minus 124. They like his rushing receiving yards. They like everything for Brian Robinson. Yeah, we got no Austin Eckler and soft matchup against the Saints. So yeah, it all makes sense. Probably gonna, play with the lead and try to run the clock. So everything is looking green for Brian Robinson. I don't understand the Zach Charbonnet thing there, but I'll do a little bit more research while you're breaking down your plays, Jordan, and see if there's some sort of chance that Kenneth Walker plays. Cool. But if you guys want to check out Outlier, this is a killer app. You can try it out for free. It just really helps you dial into the details. They're letting all of our viewers just give it a test run for a week. So all you have to do is sign up through the Outlier link below, and they will hook you up for a week. You don't need to put a code in or anything. So go check it out, and I'll pass this over to Jordy.
All right. Yeah, beauty's in the details. But yeah, so to get into mine here, I like this Jameson Williams over 22.5 longest reception. He's done this 7 out of 11 games this year. Looks pretty good. This is definitely going to be a crazy game. We got Buffalo at Detroit, so we just saw what happened between Buffalo and the Rams, and now we got two high-powered offenses against each other again here. So this is going to be a fun game. If we look at the receptions allowed to wide receiver, Buffalo sitting at 15th. And then if we look at receiving yards, they're 14th. So pretty decent matchup for him. Jameson Williams, if he catches a ball, he can almost always be confident he's going to go over at least like 20 yards. I mean, the dude is just such a speedster. So to get this at 22.5, I mean, he's gone for 52, 50, 70, 37, 23, 64, 28, 23. So he's almost hitting this like every single time. There's a couple games where obviously he's been a ghost this year, but look at the targets and receptions, man. It's like 7 targets, 5 receptions, 7 targets, 5 receptions. Like, the dude is being worked into this offense like crazy this year. So I love JMO. I think he's going to hit this line no problem. If we look at this one, it is juiced to go under, minus 124. So go with your gut, but I think this is going to be a crazy game. Let's just pull up the over-under on this really quick. Let's see, NFL odds. So the over-under on this game is a 54.5 over-under. So they're thinking this is going to be a burner of a game. I hope we hit that line. This is going to be sick. So I'm all over this. I'm taking this one for sure. Next up, I got Adam Thielen for over his longest reception too. He's hit this in 5 out of 6 games since he's been back this year. He's looked great. Bryce Young is playing a lot better, so he's getting him the ball a lot. Receiving yards allowed, we got Dallas. They're ranked 23rd. It's been awful this year. We just are looking awful, worse and worse every single game. So, we have some things that are starting to shake out. Like Rico Dowdle is actually looking pretty solid, but our defense is just abysmal. So, the year's over for us. So going into a game like this, I think it's going to be a fun game. If we look at the over-under on this one, 43 over-under. Oh my God, the Panthers are favored by 2.5. I'm sick to my stomach. So, that's always fun. But Adam Thielen's hit this 5 out of 6 games. So I think he's going to hit this no problem. He's looked really good since he's been back. He hasn't looked injured at all. So I'm all over this. Great matchup for him. 23rd in receiving yards. Receptions, 24th. So great matchup for him. I think the longest reception, I think he hits this on a catch. Last matchup, last year he did not hit this, but he went for 74 receiving yards in that game on 11 targets and 8 receptions. So, obviously it's not guaranteed, but I like it a lot. I think this year he's been looking pretty good down the field. So taking this for sure. Excuse me. And then my last play is Amari Cooper over 3.5 receptions. This might be a little premature on this one, but last game he just went for 14 targets on 6 receptions, so I think he's just going to keep getting heavily targeted in this matchup. I mean, 32nd in receptions allowed, Detroit are. Great matchup for him here. I think this is going to be an easy one for him. As long as he gets the targets, I think he'll haul in these grabs. So, you know, hopefully we see another double-digit target game. If we do, he's going to go way over this 3.5 line. So just a play I'm really confident in there. If we look this up, let's see here. Let me type in Amari. I thought I had this pulled up. Excuse me. This is minus 119 to go over, so 50-50 shot on that one. So feeling good about those three. That's my regular plays. I'll cover my demons really quickly. I've got this one. This is just a complete YOLO. Haven't done too much research into it. I just took a bunch of receiving yard lines I like, so if you guys want to pause and look at that, this is one I'm actually going to break down though. I love this Joey Sly demon for over 1.5 field goals. He hit it in the last matchup. Arizona is 27th in field goals allowed. It's because they're really good in the red zone on defense. So their red zone defense has been solid. So their field goal attempts are obviously going to go way up because they're giving up a lot more field goals, right? So I like it. I'm going to be taking this over. He's done it 6 out of 13 games this year, but he's hit it in 3 out of his last 5, going for 3 in that last game against Indy, 3 against the Rams, 4 against Chicago. So I think Sly's got a good chance to hit this in this game. So liking that one a lot. My next one is going to be that Austin Hooper over 2.5 receptions. This looks solid. You know, 11th in receptions allowed to tight ends, but 23rd in receptions overall. Arizona's defense are little tough, but over his last 5 games he's gone for 3, 4, 4, and 4. So you can take the 3.5 receptions if you like it. He's gone 4 for 4 on all of his targets and catches. So I just feel a little bit more comfortable to 2.5, so that's what I'm taking, but you can bump that up to 3.5 and it still looks good. So go with your gut on that one. I'm taking the 2.5. You can gladly take the 3.5 if you'd like. So that's just kind of personal preference there. Really soft matchup for him. So I think it's gonna be a fun game too. If you look at the over under on this game, 46.5. The Cardinals favored by 6. I think that's respectable. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. I think Sly will be involved, and I think Austin Hooper will be involved in that game. So I think that's 2 good lines there in that matchup. Next, I got this Allen Lazard, man, over 2.5 receptions. Solid matchup. 28th in receptions allowed, 28th in receptions allowed to wide receivers. He's gone over this in 6 out of 8 games this year with the Jets. Obviously, he's missed a little bit of time in some of these games, but you know, that last game he came back. He only hauled in 1 reception on 1 target, but I think they're going to get him involved because this is a safety blanket for Rodgers. He knows what this guy's going to do. It's looking, you know, better and better for him as he's coming back. So I think this is a solid matchup for him too. I think he'll get back into the system here, and they really need him. They need that 3rd receiver back. So I think this will be a good matchup for him to get things going in the right direction again. It's Jacksonville. You know, obviously the Jets are done this year, but they're still going to try to, you know, scrum together some wins and make it look as good as possible for next year, I think. So I think Lazard will be involved in this game. So 2.5 receptions for a demon line. This is just really low. He's hit it in 7 out of his last 10 games, obviously. And, you know, on the year, he's hit it in 6 out of 8. So I like it a lot. The targets are definitely there. So I'm going to be rolling that. Mike Evans touchdown. You know, this is one I always feel comfortable playing. Mike Evans is a beast. He's trying to catch up. He wants that 1,000 yards on the year. I think he needs like 480 some yards, so he's got to get a lot of work done. But I think involved in that is just going to be a touchdown because you can take his receiving yards demons if you like. They're set really high, but he's going to be balling out. I think he's slowly playing himself back into shape since he tore his hamstring or whatever, but he's coming back. And I think he's going to get in the end zone this week. Plus 145. He's only done it in 5 out of 10 games this year, but last year he went 12 for 19. He had 12 touchdowns last year, in games. So he had 2 touchdowns in some of these games. So 14 touchdowns on the year. Mike Evans is a huge red zone target. Even with missing all of those games, if you look at the red zone targets, he's still second behind Cade Otton because he missed 4 games, I think. So I think he'll be heavily involved in the red zone targeting again as soon as he gets down there. And this is a tough matchup. First overall in touchdowns allowed, but 18th to wide receivers. Mike Evans, it doesn't really matter. I think he's pretty matchup proof, so I'm not really too worried about it for a demon play. I'm all over it. And then my last one here, excuse me, that I want to talk about is this Xavier Legette. This one, I feel pretty good about this one. Xavier Legette has been getting more and more involved. You look at the receptions and it's like, okay, he's missed it in a couple games, but this is a soft matchup against Dallas. He's hit this in 6 out of 13 games, 5 out of his last 10. But look at the targets: 8 targets for 4 receptions, 8 targets for 2 receptions, 7 targets for 4 receptions. So the dude is getting heavily targeted still in this offense. So I think Bryce Young's going to be slinging the ball. I think the Cowboys rushing defenses looked a little bit better since we got Micah Parsons back. We did just lose Overthrown, which really sucks. But I think we are getting DeMarcus Lawrence back in this game. I think. No, he's still on IR, so we'll see. Their rush defenses looked a little bit better, but it's still pretty bad. But I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more. This is only a plus 120, so not crazy odds to go under on this one, so I do like it. So that's going to cover my whole demon slip. I'm power playing it for a 98x, so it's got pretty good odds because I'm not able to get too high on that. This all receiving yard one I put together, I powered it for 138x. So yeah, this one's got pretty decent odds behind it, so I feel good about it. And then obviously throwing that Josh Allen rushing touchdown in there. Rushing receiving touchdown. I can't even believe this is in here. This is a really good line. So he just went for 3 in that last game. So of course that's a good line. But yeah, it's going to cover all mine. If you guys want to check out this optimizer from Daily Grind, it is awesome. It will help you cash more. You can look up all your plays and see what the odds are feeling on that one. And it just helps you vet all your plays. It helps you find plays. So the top play on the day for tomorrow is this combo play: Jalen Hurts and Russell Wilson under 394 passing yards. I have no idea. If you guys want to see the top over, it is Javonte Williams over 7.5 rush attempts at 7.5 minus 136. So if you guys want some extra value, look through some of these, man. This is a cool thing. We get to show you a lot of these. So if you want to check out some of those, you can pause the video and look at them. But yeah, go check out the optimizer for Daily Grind. This is it. It helps you cash a lot more. Go to dgfantasy.com. You use code BACKDOOR for 25% off your first purchase. And they'll hook you up with that as long as you want to lock that in for. And then go check out Chalkboard. Chalkboard is another DFS platform, like Daily Grind. It's more like parlay play where they have all the alt lines, but they have really, really good multipliers on their lines. It's a lot of fun. They have weird little like parlay style plays you would never be able to get on their platforms. And they'll match your first deposit up to $100 if you use code BACKDOOR over there. So definitely go check out Chalkboard. A lot of fun over there. And they'll give you a free play to help you cash your first slip. So that's going to cover everything for me today.
All right. Well, I'm going to actually, if you guys are cool with it, maybe we could hang for just a little bit and talk about a few more plays. Rico Dowdle, actually, Prize Picks just removed his regular line. And now they're just forcing demons or goblins for Rico. Yeah, if you look at his rushing yards, that line we got is no longer available. I'm taking that 99.5 demon, but you could go for his fantasy score. The thing about Rico is like it's maybe he gets in the end zone this week, but he's not like a guaranteed touchdown type of guy right now. So his rushing receiving combo at 100.5 looks pretty decent. But I would like the play I want to talk to you guys about was a play that was almost going to be in my regular plays, and that is Brian Thomas Jr. Over his receiving yards. Let me just double check here and see what they've got his line at. So yeah, 62.5 is what the line is at. I actually would even consider the demon if we get, yeah, they have a 69.5 demon if you're looking for another demon play, but that regular receiving yards line is looking solid. He's cleared that in 3 straight games. The matchup is a little bit tough on paper. 4th in receiving yards allowed are the Jets to wide receivers, but let's see. See if we have any injuries. No, nothing too crazy to note, but he's actually been getting a ton of targets since Trevor Lawrence went down. It's been just steadily on the incline. He had 10 targets against Houston, 12 last week, and he's been converting that pretty decently. Like he had 8 receptions last week against Tennessee, only 4 against Houston. Houston's tough on every part of defense. But still, he is kind of a deep threat. You know, he's fast, he's physical, and he gets good separation. So you can see even on those 4 catches, he went for 76 yards last week. Over these last 5 games, he's averaging 12.6 yards per reception. And if you look at his longest receptions in this, that game against Houston, he had a 56-yard single catch. He had a 31-yard catch against Tennessee. So him clearing that 65.5 is what seems like the standard line is. Let's take a look here at the over/under for this game. I always forget the name of their quarterback. He used to play for the Patriots, the backup. Mac Jones. Yeah, Mac Jones has been like heavily targeting Brian Thomas, which is smart for him. It's like a reliable target. Where are we at here? I must have missed it. Here we go. 40.5 over under. Jets favored by 3.5, playing in Jacksonville. This could turn into a shootout because Jacksonville's pass defense is really bad. Teams wide receivers can just eat against them. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does turn into a little bit of a shootout. But Brian Thomas Jr. is just really balling out. He's been a great fit out there. Once they lost Calvin Ridley, they let Calvin Ridley go, and they went and drafted Brian Thomas Jr. to immediately take over that role. And he's stood out as the new wide receiver 1 out there. We have Christian Kirk has been, injured for a while now. He's out for the season. I believe Gabe Davis. I don't know if Gabe is back yet or not, but anyways, that's a little pivot that I like. A couple honorable mentions too. You could take a look. JSN is always solid. He's been kind of taken over, surprisingly. I didn't think it would happen. I thought DK would constantly be the guy. But yeah, look, they have his receiving targets line at 8.5. So they're expecting him to get in that range. So you could take a look at the receptions at 6. I mean, he hasn't done that in a little bit, but then also the receiving yards, I think something you could take a look at as well. He's cleared that pretty regularly. But I just wouldn't be surprised. The thing about JSN is a lot of times in these 2-minute drills, if they're just trying to get down the field quick, that's Gino just heavily targets JSN, which is a lot of fun. I've been in situations before where I needed him to cash and it wasn't looking good. And with a minute 30 left, he gets literally 5 receptions. They're just using him to work their way down the field quickly. So yeah, that's another honorable mention. I don't know if you had any other plays that you were looking at, Jordy, before we wrap up.
Not really, I don't think.
Well, we gave you guys a lot
today. The Discord, but
yeah, we gave you guys a lot today. Then obviously that Kamani Vidal rushing yards, I think that's still set really low for him. I thought that looked good. I'll just pull up DG one more time before we get out of here. Let you guys take a look. Yeah. I'm personally kind of staying off. Man, it's tough, but I'm kind of staying off Jonathan Taylor this week. I might even bench him in my Dynasty League in the playoffs, just because I'm a little worried about that matchup against Denver. And I've just got other options that I prefer. Kendre Miller, this looked relatively solid too. 29.5 rushing yards. I think he can get over that. He's been getting a lot more work lately. They have that favored to go over. 53.01% odds to hit the over, -133. So yeah, there's just a few more plays. We gave you guys a ton of plays today. We just have fun with these Saturday episodes. We'll be making a lot more slips and throwing them in our Discord. Our whole community will be getting active. So if you guys want to come join us, you can take advantage of that parlay play promo that we're running. If you sign up, use our code and email us let us know that you did. We will give you a month in the Discord for free. If you want to just jump right in, you can just go through Patreon. You sign up there, it manages our subscriptions. Once you're signed up at Patreon, you just go into the settings on Patreon. There's a connected apps option in the menu bar, and then you log into Discord from Patreon. That will get you all set up. If you want to follow us on our socials, we're at BackdoorFS on X, TikTok, and Instagram. And I should have said it at the top of the show, but you guys have plenty of time to get this video up. If you want to get the likes up for us, get us up over 150 and we'll do a Discord giveaway. And then don't forget to drop a comment because when we select the winner for the Discord, we select a random comment because we can't find anything that'll just select a random like. So make sure you drop a comment, like the video, get it over 150. We'll hook you guys up with a month in our Discord. We'll select a winner. But guys, enjoy your Sunday slate. We're getting really close to Christmas. I hope you guys are prepared. I'm going to get my tree today, so I can't wait to finally set up my tree. But yeah, as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Good luck, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Good luck, guys.